Every January, a predictable cycle begins. High-energy resolutions rely on a temporary spike in motivation that almost always vanishes by the second week of February. Breaking this cycle requires a different framework. You have to treat life lessons as a rigid behavioral operating system designed to function when inspiration fails. This system is demanding. It requires you to accept social conflict and remove the emotional safety nets that keep you comfortable but stagnant. We can measure the effectiveness of these behaviors using this matrix, plotting the social and emotional friction of a choice against its actual psychological return. Typical resolutions, like generic promises to stay positive, sit in the bottom left quadrant. They feel easy to adopt because they involve low friction, which is the exact reason they yield almost no results. Stoic principles, like radical boundaries and absolute ownership, plot aggressively into the top right. These choices generate high returns because they force you to confront difficult truths. Before you implement these changes, you need to calculate the actual psychological ROI of the system's three main pillars. Achieving a year of actual progress requires an explicit trade. You are sacrificing the comfort of group approval for total psychological independence. Pillar 1 is the surgical pruning of your social circle. This is for those who feel drained by the constant demands of others and find themselves trapped in imbalanced relationships. This requires immediate action. You must drop conditional friendships, restrict access to your time, and leave when promises become apologies. Developing a willingness to be disliked is a mandatory skill. It functions as a strict filter for your life, ensuring that only those who respect your boundaries remain. To calculate this trade, we look at the social pruning ledger. The concrete yield: reclaimed time, filtered relationships, and conserved emotional energy. The necessary trade-off: immediate interpersonal conflict, loss of familiar routines, and operating with zero external approval. Many fail to anticipate the cost of grieving toxic connections. Even if a relationship is harmful, losing its familiarity causes a real psychological sting. Ultimately, self-respect is incompatible with the goal of making everyone happy. You have to prioritize one to protect the other. Pillar 2 moves the focus to internal execution. This is designed for those with high ambitions, but who find their energy scattered across too many projects and opinions. You must cap your daily priorities at a maximum of 3. Focusing on more than 3 items dilutes your power and ensures none of them receive the attention required for excellence. You also adopt a policy of silent progress. Stop sharing your plans and early victories, choosing instead to let your results communicate your progress. In the attention scarcity ledger, the yields are momentum protection and sharp execution. Working in silence protects you from premature validation. It prevents you from feeling the win of a goal before you've actually done the work. The trade-offs include a loss of collaborative feedback and a total reliance on your own discipline without the social pressure of public goals. Without external accountability, you risk becoming a slave to your own moods. This pillar only works if you have the internal structure to stay on task when nobody is watching. Privacy is a shield for your progress, but it carries a risk of isolation if you thrive on external teamwork. Pillar 3 focuses on processing pain and expectations. This is the path for those struggling with burnout or the lingering weight of past betrayals. The first mandatory input is radical self-honesty. You must accept that people often act in ways that contradict your logic, and waiting for them to change is a form of self-imprisonment. This involves silent forgiveness. You decide to move on and protect your peace without ever needing an apology from the person who caused the harm. The internal locus ledger shows the highest yield. You restore your total agency and finalize emotional loops that drain your energy. By taking ownership of your healing, you stop waiting for external factors to align. You give yourself the power to move forward immediately. The trade-off is abandoning victim narratives. You must endure the excruciating short-term pain of taking responsibility for your recovery, even if it wasn't your fault. Disappointment is usually the result of projecting your own values onto others. Clarity comes when you stop expecting people to think or act exactly like you. Internal peace is only possible when you take total ownership over your pain. You decide that your future is too valuable to leave in the hands of the people who hurt you. The 2026 Stoic operating system functions through surgical subtraction. You improve your life by removing distractions, toxic connections, and false expectations. Because each pillar has a high emotional cost, you should match the strategy to your specific life bottleneck, ensuring the ROI is worth the friction. This decision scorecard maps the 3 profiles we've discussed against their most effective Stoic pillar. For the overwhelmed people-pleaser, those exhausted by the demands of conditional friends, the priority is Pillar 1, social pruning. The mathematical ROI of reclaimed self-respect far outweighs the temporary discomfort of setting boundaries and being disliked. For the ambitious optimizer, those with goals that are currently stalled by distraction, Pillar 2 provides the necessary focus. Use silent progress to protect your momentum, but stay aware of the point where privacy becomes professional isolation. For the burnout and crisis recoverer, those carrying the weight of past disappointment, the focus must be Pillar 3. Absorbing the upfront pain of radical acceptance and silent forgiveness is your only path to long-term emotional stability. A year where you finally take control of your life is not driven by a flash of inspiration. It is built on your daily capacity to tolerate the uncomfortable trade-offs of discipline.